all right. Ladies and gentlemen, it is your boy Jay coming back again with another stream. Tonight we got your predictions for the 2023 NFL Week 1 as we prepare to get ready for the season. Today's date is August 29th, 2023. We got a little bit, about a week left, week and a few days before we get started. But you guys know I like to get started early. Early riser. Before we get into all that good stuff, make sure you guys smash that like, that thumbs up, and of course subscribe to the channel. Click that bell, turn on your notifications so you don't miss a stream. Also, some quick housekeeping with you guys. You asked for the Discord. Well, it's in the chat. The link is right there at the top. You can join the Discord, giving you 24/7 access to Jay. Not really, but you get the point. I'm always on Discord, so if you guys want to holler at me, talk sports, all that good stuff, or just hop in and talk your garbage, you'll have the ability to do so on the Discord with all you guys as we're trying to get that community going. So that is set up. Also, I did set up the Fantasy League. You guys asked for the Fantasy League. I set that up too. That link is in the description down below. $50, winner take all. No buy-in. There is 12 spots left. If you love fantasy football, if you want a chance to make $50, if you think you're the best, well, the link is down in the description. Join up, or it's in the chat. If you want to scroll back up, it is there for you. 12 spots left. So, yeah. The J Reason Fantasy League is up and ready to go, and I'm excited to play with you guys. Pause. Excited to play fantasy football with you guys, and yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Shout out to the Wrench Gang. Shout out to the family. Much love to all you guys. Serious Biz in the house. Big Ron, what's up with you, Ronald? What's going on with you, man? Sheila, let's go. Hope you guys in Florida are doing okay. Looks like the storm is moving more north, but still to be taken serious. So make sure that you are preparing for the storm coming, and we are with you. We are with you. Shout out to Mohammed. What up, man? Tyler in the house. What up, bro? What's going on with you? Sheila says, I have never done fantasy football. Well, you know, it's one of those things. It's highly competitive. People take it very serious. And, you know, it's fun. It's definitely fun. So if you want to look into it, you know, you can. And go from there. Shout out to Richard. What up, Richard? What's going on with you, man? Richard, the Builder, Wrench Gang in the house. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Week 1 predictions tonight. Without further ado, we're going to get right into it. We are going to get right into it. Week 1, Thursday, September 7th, 2023. That's going to be next Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. Your Detroit Lions, Kansas City Chiefs, that'll be at 8:20. I will be streaming this game, so make sure that you do lock it in if you have not already. Make sure that you are here. It's going to be a great time. The following Wednesday, we'll have the pregame opener as far as we're getting ready for Week 1 in the NFL season, so you don't want to miss that as well. But let's dive right into it, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Getting into the matchup predictor. 33.5% for the Lions, 66.2% for your Chiefs. Obviously, we're not going to have the season leaders right yet because preseason just wrapped up. Injury report, Nate Sudfeld out, Emmanuel Mosley questionable. All this stuff is going to change before Week 1, so we don't need to see that. What we need to see is the odds, and the odds are KC is favored by 6.5. Your over-under is 54 for this game. Those are the numbers we like to see. Those aren't preseason numbers at all. High-scoring game, and I like it. You know why I like it? Because, as Immortal said, these paper Lions, I'm feeling like we're going to see a competitive game from these Lions. Getting into the depth chart, obviously you're going to have Jared Goff as your starter, followed by Teddy Bridgewater coming over from Miami. Hendon Hooker on the third, Adrian Martinez on the fourth. I'm looking forward to Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. People are sleeping on David, obviously, when he was with the Bears, came over to these Lions. I'm excited to see what that duo is going to do. And then also you got Craig Reynolds and Jamar Jefferson, the rookie, in the backfield. Or not the backfield, but your third and fourth string. So definitely a talented duo as far as for the running backs. Wide receivers, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jamison Williams is also on suspension. Marvin Jones Jr. And then your tight end, Sam Laporta. Fullback, Jason Cabinda. And then your left tackle is going to be Taylor Decker. Left guard, Jonah Jackson. Center, Frank Ragnow. I always have an issue saying this man's name. Hala Polavate. Vaitai, your right guard. And then Pinay Sewell as far as your right tackle. Getting into your defense from these Lions, I expect to see a lot of Aiden Hutchinson. Of course, Cameron Sutton as well. CJ Gardner Johnson. And Jerry Jacobson for your special teams. Obviously, you're going to have Riley Patterson for your punt kicker. Jack Fox again. Punt returns, Khalif Raymond. Kick return, Maurice Alexander. Your long snapper, Scott Daly. So there you go for your Lions. Getting into the Chiefs. Getting into your Chiefs. All right, come on, depth chart. No, I don't want to do it. I don't want to open it up. Oh, my God. All right. There we go. Make it work. All right, Patrick Mahomes is your quarterback. Isaiah Pacheco is your running back. Kadarius Toney, who's questionable. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Sky Moore. You know, before I keep going, I really feel like Andy Reid is turning into the new Bill Belichick, right? He's picking off wide receivers from, like, different teams and everything like that. Did the same thing with Juju Smith-Schuster. You know, now he's got Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Interesting. Sky Moore stepping it up as well. Travis Kelce, as usual, for your tight end. Left tackle is going to be Donovan Smith. Joe Thuney for left guard. Center is Creed Humphrey. Right guard, Trey Smith. Right tackle, Juwan Taylor. Getting into your defense, George Karlaftis, Derek Nottie, Chris Jones, Charles Omena, who is on suspension, Willie Gay, Nick Bolton, Drew Tranquil, Trent McDuffie, Justin Reed, Brian Cook, Legarius Sneed, who is questionable. Harrison Butker on special teams, Tommy Townsend, Richie James, and then James Winchester is your long snapper. Now, for this specific game, ladies and gentlemen, let me go back here. Here we go. Come on. All right. Lions, KC. I know everybody is definitely going to be on the KC bandwagon. And I'm not just saying this because I hate Patrick Mahomes or I don't like Kansas City Chiefs, but I really feel like this Lions team is different. And yes, I may be sold the Kool-Aid, but I'm going Lions in a close game. I'm going Lions in a close game. I do think it's going to be high scoring. I'm going to go 32 Lions, 28 Kansas City. Someone's going to freak out on me, I already know. I'm ready for it. I am ready for it. Shout out to Jonas. What up, yo? Says I'm picking the Lions to win this game. Jonas, me and you actually agreed on week 1, the first game. I'm already liking this. Let's go. Like I said, I'm going with these Lions. I do feel like KC is going to have a hard time. People don't realize that when you're coming off the Super Bowl win, it's not just they're going to come out as dominant as they once were. KC is, in a sense, getting a little more towards that. If they're going to be a dynasty, they need to do it now. If they're not going to do it, it's going to be, okay, we won last year. We play hard this year, but we don't make it. And I think this is going to be a real strong test to who they are starting off with this different Lions team. So Jonas says Lions win by 3, if not 6. Okay. Luda says, okay, Jay, I'll go KC. You just got to go against me, huh? It's got to go against me. Sheila says, "Laugh out loud. Got enough from you last night, Jay." Hey, listen. I had to let it out last night. People were coming at your boy Jay tonight. We had to make it happen. Had to turn it up a little bit. But yes, week 1, Lions, KC. I'm going Lions. 32-28. All right. Next up. Which also I'll give you my stream schedule now. I'll post it later, but I'll give it to you now anyways. Obviously, you guys know next Thursday I'm going to be streaming the season opener, Lions, KC. And then we'll get into Sunday. You guys know my regular stream schedule is Monday night, Thursday night, and then, of course, 3 games on Sunday. So my 3 games on Sunday will most likely be 1 o'clock. You're going to have the Bengals and the Browns. And then 4 o'clock is probably going to – well, not probably, but it's going to be the Packers and the Bears. And then I'm going to do Sunday night, which is going to be your Cowboys and the Giants. And then Monday night will be the Bills and the Jets. So that's my stream schedule, if you were wondering. That way you don't have to ask me a million times. Those will be the 4 games I'll stream between Thursday, Sunday, and then Monday. There you go. All right, so let's get back to the predictions. Shout out to you, Sheila. Carolina Panthers, Atlanta Falcons. Now, this is another good one. You've got 2 rookies coming in strong. Is Bryce Young going to lead these Panthers to the victory? Is Desmond Ridder and company going to lead these Falcons? I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know who takes this one. I really don't. I have no faith in Bryce Young, but I do feel like he has solid people on the team that could potentially help him lead this team to a victory. So, Panthers matchup predictor 47.2%, 52.4% for your Falcons. Obviously, let's get straight to the odds. You've got Atlanta favored by 3.5. Over under is 40. So this is weird because they're expecting this to be a highly offensive game, and it makes me question, where's the defense? Where is the defense? So let's go ahead and get into these depth charts here. All right, here we go. Bryce Young starting. Andy Dalton behind him. Shout out to Andy Dalton. And Matt Corral. Followed by Miles Sanders coming over from the Eagles. I know that hurts. Chuba Hubbard. And then Raheem Blackshear. Adam Thielen coming over from the Vikings. DJ Clark Jr., Jonathan Mingo, Hayden Hurst, Ikem Okwagnu, Brady Christensen, Bradley Boozman, Cade Mays, and then Taylor Motton. Now listen, I'm not a believer in Bryce Young. I need to see more tape. I need to see him out there under pressure. I need to see how he's going to perform. But just like I said, he has the pieces to win. These are all veteran players who are going to ball out if he can get them the ball. Miles Sanders, great running back for the Eagles. Adam Thielen, DJ Clark, Hayden Hurst. These are all names that are household names that can go out there and ball. So if he can get them the ball, we will see if these Panthers can make something out of it. Getting into the defense, Deshaun Williams, Shai Tuttle, Derek Brown, Brian Burns, Shaq Thompson, Frankie Levy, Von Bell, Xavier Woods, J.C. Horn, and then as far as your special teams, Eddie Pinheiro, who's questionable, Johnny Hecker, Raheem Blackshear, and then J.J. Jansen. As for the Falcons, obviously you got Desmond Ridder, Taylor Heineke behind him, and then Logan Woodside. As far as the running back, Bijan Robinson, Taylor Algier, Cordell Patterson. That's a name we haven't heard in a long time. Drake London. I'm excited to see what he's going to do on the field. Mac Hollins, Scott Miller, Kyle Pitts. We haven't heard his name in a while either. Jonnu Smith coming over from those Patriots. Keith Smith, Jake Matthews, Matthew Bergeron, Drew Dahlman, Chris Lindstrom, Caleb McGarry. And then for your defense, Calais Campbell, David Onyemata, Grady Jarrett, Arnold Ebikiti, Troy Anderson, Caden Ellis, Bud Dupree, AJ Terrell, Richie Grant, Jesse Bates III, and Jeff Okuda. As far as your special teams, Young Ho Koo. Oh, I cracked myself up. Bradley Pinion, Mike Hughes, Cordell Patterson on the kick return, and then Liam McCullough. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be honest with you. For this one, for me, it's going to be a toss-up. But if I have to pick, which I obviously do, I apologize. I just X'd out of that by accident. I'm going to go ahead and go against the grain here, and I'm going to go Panthers. I just feel like with all my questions in regards to what they're going to do as quarterback, the talent that the Panthers have is on par, and if not better, veteran-wise, with the Falcons. So, yeah. Liam Dunn says, Jay, you should do weekly updates about the Fantasy Football League on your channel. I think it would be very cool. I am, Liam. Shout out to you, man. We're going to do those every week. So we'll break down as far as what's going on with the Fantasy League, who's doing great, who's doing terrible. And we'll treat it basically just like what we're doing right now with the week 1 predictions and all that kind of stuff. But we'll do it for fantasy as well. So, yeah. But, yeah, I'm going to go Panthers against these Falcons. Jonas says, give me the Falcons. Shout out to you, Jonas. What's up, Duke? What's going on with you, bro? Richard says, Jay, start out 1 for 2. So sad. All right, listen. We're going to see. You guys know. You guys know how this goes. This ain't preseason. This is the real season. Shout out to Mary Alice says, I'm ready for Monday night. Me too. I am so ready for Monday night. All right, next up after the Panthers and the Falcons is going to be the Bengals. I'm trying not to mess you guys up here, so let me just do that. It's going to be your Bengals and the Browns. Now, I'm expecting a good game here. Obviously, we know about Joe Burrow and the issues that he's had as far as with his injuries to his legs and all that good stuff, and how that may play a factor as far as in the upcoming season. I think he will bounce back, but you'd be crazy if you don't think that stuff matters, and you'd be crazy if you don't think someone's right now watching tape on how he's been moving around in training camp and whether or not he still has that step that he needs to get that ball out of his hands. With that said, Bengals on the matchup predictor, 61.2%. Browns, 38.5%. Getting into the spread, Bengals are favored by 2. That means something. What's Vegas thinking about here? And your over-under is 47.5. Let's get into the depth chart. Why do they make this so difficult for me? Why? All right, here we go. Depth chart. Obviously, Joe Burrow is your starting quarterback. Jake Browning on the second. Reed Sinnett is the third. Your running back is still Joe Mixon, followed by Chris Evans, and then Chase Brown. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Irv Smith Jr., Orlando Brown Jr. is left tackle. Left guard is going to be Cordell Volson, Ted Karras, Alex Kappa, right tackle, Jonah Williams. As far as your defense, Sam Hubbard, DJ Reader, BJ Hill, Trey Hendrickson, Logan Wilson, Jermaine Pratt, Akeem Davis Gaither, Chidobe Awuzie, Nick Scott, Dax Hill, Cam Taylor Britt. For your special teams, Evan McPherson, Brad Robbins, Charlie Jones, Chris Evans, and then Cal Adamitsis. All right, as for your Browns, we're going to see Deshaun Watson starting off, ladies and gentlemen. And listen, we're not going to talk about the issues that he's had in his personal life and the legal stuff and all that. Deshaun Watson is a decent quarterback who could potentially go on to be great if he's taken the proper time to develop, taking the proper time to actually get in his bag so he can move forward and leave the past behind, he can definitely take these Browns to where they need to go. I think this is the first time in my history of watching sports and watching football that I was actually surprised by the Browns in the preseason. Not just because of Dorian and everything that he did, but I was looking at the way that they were calling their defense, calling their offense, and I was very surprised. Like I said before, even though they lost 2 games and tied 1 and won 1, they basically showed promise, and I expect to see these Browns do something this season. Speaking of, Deshaun Watson starting, followed by Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Running back Nick Chubb, Jerome Ford, Pierre Strong Jr., wide receivers Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore, Donovan Peoples-Jones, David Njoku, Jordan Akins, Jedrick Wills Jr., Joel Bitonio, Ethan Pacheck, Wyatt Teller, and Jack Conklin. As far as your defense, Myles Garrett, Dalvin Tomlinson, Jordan Elliott, Zadarius Smith, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, Anthony Walker Jr., Sion Takataki, Denzel Ward, Grant Delpit, Juan Thornhill, Greg Newsome II. Getting into your special teams, Dustin Hopkins, not the actor, Corey Bojorquez, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Jerome Ford, and then Charles Hewlett. Now, well, Jay, who are you going to take? I think the Bengals start off to a strong start. I do. I think it's going to be a hard-fought victory. But the firepower that Burrow has right now with this team, I think they're definitely going to come out strong. Not saying it's going to be easy, but I'm going to go ahead and take these Bengals by a touchdown. Give me the under, and I'm going to go 21-17. 21, yeah. It'll be just under a touchdown. Give me 21-17. Bengals. Shout out to Timo. What up, yo? Tactical says he has to let the other stuff go for sure. He's a good ball player. Shout out to you, Tactical. Yeah, man. He has to. You know, at the end of the day, doesn't matter if you're playing football. Doesn't matter if you're working your corporate 9 to 5, right? If you have stuff going on in your brain that has affected your life, and you have people talking about you and people who hate you and lawsuits and all kinds of stuff going on, it's definitely gonna affect you, right? It's gonna get inside your brain. It's gonna have it's gonna be one of those lingering things, when you got people in the stands that are saying stuff to you, and you got to have such a strong mental capacity to get through that, to be great. And I'm sure he's, even been in that situation with the Texans, because he had a hard time with the Texans, but he was still loved out there because, they thought that he was going to be that man to take Texans to the promised land. But once something like that happens, it's very difficult for people to get over it. I mean, look what happened to Mike Vick. He's still dealing with that issue. And no, I'm not trying to compare the two situations because I do know that they're different. But at the same time, you get where I'm going with just when things are thrown at you, how you have to move forward and get through them in any scenario. And that's the bottom line. But with that said, I'm going to go ahead and rock with these Bengals. All right. Next up, we have your... Wait, let me just squeeze this up a little bit. Just a little bit. All right. Next up, we got your Jacksonville Jaguars and the Colts. I've been working on it, ladies and gentlemen. The Jaguars. And the Colts, as we get into this one, this is going to be another 1 o'clock game on Sunday.
He has the...
I don't want that to play. All right. 65.2% on the matchup predictor for the Jags. 34.6% for the Colts. Spread is 4.5 for your Jaguars. And 45 is your over and under. Let's get into... Let me actually close some of these tabs. I do apologize, you guys. I got to close some of these tabs here. All right, let's get into the Jags depth chart. Before I do, Ronald says, Jay, remember the Bengals Scully? You're supposed to say Browns. Yeah. Yeah, I can't do it. I can't. I gotta be real about certain stuff. Says, wonder how Mike Vick is doing. Haven't seen my dog in a while. Timo, you are terrible. Shout out to you, Rodney. Tactical says, Mike Vick was a phenomenal talent, and then he crashed hard. Sad, really. I saw him in person. Fastest quarterback I've ever seen. Yeah, people forget Mike Vick was a once-in-a-lifetime generational talent. People feared playing that man at one point in their career. So, and it's sad because we talk about accountability in this channel a lot, and as far as people understanding, the different things that they do and how it can affect their future, and why it's very important to understand, what you need to do to go out and be great. But at the same time, things do happen, right? But we know right from wrong. You know what I'm saying? That's the reality of it. We know right from wrong. So when you have someone in those kind of situations that get dealt that hand because of the actions that they chose, it's kind of hard to have sympathy for them. It's kind of hard to sit back and say, oh, I feel sorry because he made this decision, and then B happened. Or I feel sorry for him because he made this decision, and then C happened. Well, people know what they do. They just choose to do it because, number one, they don't think they're going to have to deal with any kind of consequences from it. And they feel like they're untouchable at some point. We still see it today. And we're going to see it tomorrow. And that's just the reality of it. But how people get through it is what really determines, how they're going to live after it. So there it is. Getting into the Jags depth chart. Your starting quarterback, Trevor Good Hair Lawrence, followed by CJ Beathard, Travis Etienne Jr., Tanks Bigsby, Jermichael Hasty, and D'Ernest Johnson for your running backs. Wide receivers, Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, Zay Jones, who I'm excited to see coming out. Zay Jones, that kid is going to ball. Evan Ingram, Walker Little, Ben Bartsch, Luke Forner, Brandon Scherf, and Anton Harrison's going to finish off your offensive line. As for the defense, Folaranzu Futakasi, Devon Hamilton, Roy Robinson Harris, Josh Allen, the other one, Devin Lloyd, Fayusaid Alukun, Trayvon Walker, Tyson Campbell, Rashawn Jenkins, Andre Sisco, Darius Williams, and then your special teams, Brandon McManus, Logan Cook, Jamal Agnew, and Ross Matisik. Getting into your Colts, we've got the rookie coming out, starting Anthony Richardson, followed up by bad hair Gardner Minshew, Sam Ellinger, and then as far as Mr. Jonathan Taylor, who did not get traded, he is currently on the PUP list, so you will not see him for 4 weeks. Zach Moss is questionable. Then you got Deion Jackson and Evan Hull. So I don't know what's going to happen as far as your running situation there, Colts fans. I don't know. I really don't. It's going to be very interesting to watch. As far as your wide receivers, you got Michael Pittman Jr., Alec Pierce. I'm excited to see what he does. Josh Downs, Kalen Granson, Bernard Raymond Quinton, Nelson, Ryan Kelly, Will Fries, Braden Smith for your offensive line. Get into your defense, Kwity Paye, DeForest Buckner, Grover Stewart, Samson Ebukam, EJ Speed, Shaquille Leonard, Shaq Leonard, Zaire Franklin, Kenny Moore II, Julian Blackman, Rodney Thomas, Darrell Baker Jr., and then your special teams, Matt Gay, Rigoberto Sanchez, Isaiah McKenzie, Dallas Flowers, and Luke Rhodes. All right. So for these Jags and these Colts, I'm going to have to go Jags. This man right here, I'll hold this card up. This man right here is going to lead these Jags to the promised land. So I'm going to have to go with these Jags. Big believer in Trevor Lawrence. And they're going to ball out this year. I'm excited to see what they do. I think that defense is definitely going to come out powered up, ready to go. Jacksonville's going to be a force to be reckoned with this year. So there you go. Shout out to Patty. What's up, Patty? What's going on with your Bills Mafia in the house? Next up, we have your Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Minnesota Vikings. Now, listen.
He has the rookie.
Wait a second. Hold on. What are we doing here? What are we doing, Hitter J? What do we do? Okay, here we go. All right. We had discussions in regards to the Buccaneers, and everyone was harping on me because I said that Kyle Trask should be the quarterback of the team. Now, why did I say that? I say that because the man said under Tom Brady, he was mentored by the greatest quarterback of all time. So to have Baker Mayfield just come over after he didn't last with the Rams didn't make sense to me. But hey, he came over there. He's starting now. And I'm still standing on the hill of saying I don't see Baker Mayfield going past week 3 without Kyle Trask coming in. I'm still saying that. Let's keep it going. Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Minnesota Vikings. This is also another 1 o'clock game on Sunday. We've got your Buccaneers matchup predictor 30.30%, followed up by the Vikings at 69.5%. Getting through to your line, Vikings are favored by 6 points, just under a touchdown, or it is a touchdown, just under the extra point. 45.5 for your over and under. Interesting things, Carolina. Yeah, we just did that, my friend. We literally just did that game. The yeah, we did it earlier. Yeah, Panthers and the Falcons. All right, getting into the Buccaneers depth chart. Actually, let me just open up both of these so I don't have to go back to it. All right, Buccaneers depth chart. Baker Mayfield. Your second is Kyle Trask. Running back, Rashad White, Chase Edmonds, Keyshawn Vaughn, Sean Tucker. Wide receiver, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Trey Palmer. Tight end, Cade Otton. As far as your offensive line, Tristan Wirfs, Matt Filer, Robert Hinsey, Cody Mock, and Luke Godecki. As far as your defense, Kalijah Cansey, Vita Vey, Logan Hall, Joe Tiran Shayinka, Devin White, Levante David, Shaquille Barrett, Jamal Dean, Ryan Neal, Antoine Winfield Jr., and Carlton Davis III. Special teams, Chase McLaughlin, Jake Camarda, Devin Tompkins, and then Zach Trenner is your long snapper. For your Vikings, Kirk Cousins is your quarterback, Nick Mullins, Jaron Hall. As far as your running backs, you have Alexander Madison, Ty Chandler, Kene Nwangwu. Now, hey, listen. What are these Vikings really going to do without Cook? I think they're going to miss out on him being there. That Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson's chemistry, you can't get any better than that. You cannot get any better than that. I think they're going to miss Dalvin Cook, and I think they made a mistake. But hey, they'll be moving on. Following up with your wide receivers, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, KJ Osborne, TJ Hawkinson, CJ Ham, Christian Darrisaw, Ezra Cleveland, Garrett Bradbury, Ed Ingram, Brian O'Neill, and then as far as your defense, Dean Lowry, Kyrus Tonga, Harrison Phillips, Daniel Hunter, Brian Asamoah II, Jordan Hicks, Marcus Davenport, Caleb Evans, Harrison Smith, Cameron Bynum, Byron Murphy Jr. And then as far as your special teams, Greg Joseph, Ryan Wright, Jalen Rieger, Kene Nwangwu, and then Andrew DePaula. Now, I'm going to be honest about these Buccaneers. I really don't think we're going to see much of a difference from than what we've seen with Tom Brady. I think that the Buccaneers are in a rebuilding phase. I think there's going to be a lot that comes into what needs to happen as far as this team coming out to be great again. 80% of your fans jump ship, Buccaneers. It's the truth. We know why they jump ship, and we know why the majority of people who were Buccaneers fans became Buccaneers fans. So, this one was quite easy for me. But I'm going to have to go Vikings along with the other 69.5%. So there you go. Shout out to Lutz says, back up, Jay. My Colts is better than the Jags. All right. I mean, hey, I'm not going to fight with you about it. If you feel that way, you feel that way. You know, I mean, I just shared my piece. That's all. I don't want no beef with you, Lutz. I don't want any trouble. I don't want any trouble. Shout out to you guys. Remember Menace to Society? I don't want any trouble. Okay? She says, I moved to Jacksonville 30 years ago. Immortal was exciting. When we got the Jaguars, this town went crazy, so I crossed over. Shout out to you, Sheila. Because Roberto Gronkowski retired. Roberto Gronkowski. Well, you know, even Brady tried to get him to come back, but Gronk was done. That man took so many hits in his career. His brain had to be mush. You know? He did a lot. The man broke some records. He's got multiple Super Bowl champions under his belt. What else did that man have to prove? Tom Brady, you know, I hate to get into it, but let's get into it. Tom Brady had so much to prove in regards to at the end of his career when he could have left at the height of it, but he chose to keep going and keep going and keep going, and then he ended up getting divorced, losing and not making it to the Super Bowl, and then going out at the bottom, which is basically just a huge slap in the face to his whole legacy. And that's the reality of it. And it sucks because as much as I hated the Patriots, especially when they played the Bills, it was one of those things where you still respected the man because he was a winner. But hey, it's all about those decisions and the love of the game, as they say. All right, so I'm going Vikings on that one. Next up, we have your... I'm not trying to skip past. Here we go. We got your Tennessee Titans, New Orleans Saints. This is going to be a good one, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan Tannehill, David Carr. And let's go ahead and get into this one.
Titans receiver Traylon Burks suffered a sprained LCL in yesterday's joint practices against the Minnesota Vikings. And it's a really unfortunate injury because Burks is a player that coming into training camp was looking to really redeem himself from a rocky rookie season last year. He changed his conditioning. He's a much more confident and comfortable player. And you can really tell that in the interaction with him as well as just what he was able to do on the field. He was stacking plenty of good days. And even if you look at the injury, it happened on a play in which Ryan Tannehill fouled him for a would-be touchdown. The Titans were really relying on Burks to be opposite DeAndre Hopkins and give him a potent 1-2 option in the passing game. Now with Burks out 3 to 4 weeks, it looks like Chris Moore and Nick Westbrook-Ikini will be the guys that are relied upon to step up in his place. They open the season against the New Orleans Saints, and the hope is that he will be ready for that.
All right, so, well, that was a good little, intro to getting into this. Matchup predictor for your Titans and Saints, 43.4% for your Titans, 56.3% for the Saints. Before we get into this and break this down, the spread is 3.5 for your Saints. Over under is 41. Now, David Carr. Let's talk about the man who was underappreciated. Most likely didn't get his just due with the Raiders. Didn't have a solid team. All right, you can talk about Adams. You can talk about Jacobs. But guess what? Terrible defense, right? And as much as I love Max Crosby, the man can't get it done himself. So there's a lot that goes into why Derek Carr was looking to move on. But we'll get into the depth charts first. Obviously, for your Titans, you're going to have Mr. Ryan Tannehill back at it again, followed up by Malik Willis, which I was really surprised by this because as good as a quarterback Ryan Tannehill has tried to be, I feel like in today's quarterback market, you need more of a mobile quarterback. But the Titans just don't feel that Malik is truly ready, which is okay. Because guess what? We know that Malik Willis is going to be great as a Titans quarterback, and him learning and developing under Ryan Tannehill is going to be great. You still got Mr. Derrick Henry, who's going to run through those gaps, break those walls. DeAndre Hopkins came over. I did say he was just looking for the bag. We'll see if he balls out, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to know this would be the game because they're going to utilize this man as their workhorse. He's going to be catching everything if he's there just, for more than the money. As you just heard, Treylon Burks is out, followed by Kyle Phillips. Your tight end is going to be Chigozie Okonkwo. Getting into your offensive line, Andre Dillard, Peter Skoronski, Aaron Brewer, Daniel Brunskill, and Nicholas Pettit who's on suspension. As for the defense, Jeffrey Simmons, Tyir Tart, Danico Autry, Harold Landry III, Jack Gibbons, Aziz Al-Shair, Arden Key, Sean Murphy-Bunting, Amani Hooker, Kevin Baird, and Christian Fulton. For your special teams, Nick Folk, Ryan Stonehouse, Kyle Phillips, Julius Chestnut, Morgan Cox. And then as for the Saints, Mr. Derek Carr, Jameis Winston, still holding it down with these Saints. Jake Haener, I was actually surprised by Jake in the preseason. I think he's going to be another great quarterback coming up behind Carr and Winston. And it'll be good to see him back on the field potentially for some games so he can get some real playing time. Taysom Hill still in there as a multi-purpose Swiss Army knife. Shout out to Taysom Hill. Alvin Kamara, we won't see him for, I think, 3 weeks because he's going to be on that suspension. But you will have Jamal Williams and Kendre Miller. As far as your wide receivers, you got Chris Olave coming in, followed by Traquan Smith and Shaquan Davis. Michael Thomas, this man, I think he's been paid the most out of anybody and just rode the bench the most as well. But he's back, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm really hoping we get to see him be great. Because Michael Thomas was probably one of the best wide receivers at one point in his career that was on the field. Followed by Keith Kirkwood, Jontre Kirkland, wide receivers Rashad Shaheed, and then A.T. Perry at the second. As for your tight end, Juwan Johnson, you got Taysom Hill following up on the second. Jimmy Graham, ladies and gentlemen, is back. That's a name you probably haven't heard in a while. Man, been in the shadows. He actually just got in some trouble for a situation. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think that's all been settled and taken care of. But Jimmy Graham, I respected his time with Drew Brees, and he was always a quality tight end, so hopefully we get to see him back on the field. Adam Prentice is going to be your fullback. Offensive line is going to be Trevor Penning, Audris Pete, Eric McCoy, Cesar Ruiz, and Ryan Remzik. As far as your defense, Cameron Jordan, I'm expecting him to have another big year. Peyton Turner, Kyle Phillips on the third. Nathan Shepard, Colin Saunders, Carl Granderson, Pete Werner, Demario Davis, Zach Bond, Paulson Adebo, Tyrann Mathieu, Marcus May, and Marshawn Lattimore. It's a name that hopefully we'll be hearing soon after he gets over his issues. Blake Group, followed by the other Blake, Gillikin, Rashid Shaheed, and then Zach Wood is your long snapper. This is an interesting one, ladies and gentlemen. Titans and Saints, I feel like this may be a complete dogfight. This is the South. And these two teams, especially between Derek Carr, who is going to basically try to prove himself with these Saints, and then Tannehill coming back out, showing why he belongs to be the man for the Titans. You know what the X factor is? I'll tell you what the X factor is. Alvin Kamara being gone. And yes, we can bring up the case of the Saints defense, but guess what? It's still very hard to stop Derrick Henry. I'm going to go Titans by a field goal. I'm going Titans by a field goal. Titans by 3. There you go. Moving on. 49ers and the Steelers. Now, I'm going to have some mad Steeler fans at me, and I'm going to have some mad 49ers fans at me, but it's going to make sense to you once we get through this. 49ers at the Steelers at home.
Kenny Pickett at a QBR of 98 Bear in mind, 100 is the highest you can get. He averaged nearly 10 yards per attempt when throwing to Pickens. That number dropped to 6 when targeting anybody else. So can this become the next great duo in the NFL, Pickett to Pickens?
I believe it's about to be, Greeny. And I think the reality for me is George Pickens is starting to become one of those receivers, and Harry knows this, that the coverage doesn't necessarily matter. I played with Andre Johnson and I played with Calvin Johnson, two guys that as a quarterback you would sit there and go, well, usually I would never throw this ball to that person. But the coverage doesn't matter. As long as I give this guy a shot, something good is more than likely going to happen. And I think Kenny Pickett, and that's the fascinating part of this conversation for me, is does that now vault Kenny Pickett into a different player than maybe I certainly expected him to be because of that connection? Because he gets the line of scrimmage, he's like, oh, I don't care what it is. George is getting this ball. Not only makes that connection better, but it also makes everybody else's job in Pittsburgh offensively easier.
Listen, if you've been with me during preseason, I have not only been wowed by Kenny Pickett, I've been surprised by their defense as well. The Steelers' defense is definitely top-notch, and they're not letting much get through that line. All right? They're playing solid in the backfield. They're playing solid at the line. And you've got this Steelers offense looking to be a true threat. So what does that mean? Well, on the flip side, you've got the 49ers, who has the number one offense in the NFL. Yes, the number one offense. And I know how much you guys like to hate on Brock Purdy because he's a rookie and he showed up and he didn't play a full season. But if you go back and look at what that man did before he got injured, I'm still going to stand on that hill and say Brock Purdy, if he didn't get injured, would have been in the Super Bowl. Yes. Let's get into it. 56.9% on the matchup predictor for your 49ers, followed up by 42.8% for the Steelers. Getting into the spread, 49ers favored by 2.5. Your over-under is 41 points. Let's open up the depth chart. Mr. Brock Purdy, he is going to be starting for the 49ers, followed by Sam Darnold and then Brandon Allen. Trey Lance is gone. He is gone to the Cowboys, ladies and gentlemen. Running back, Christian McCaffrey, Elijah Mitchell. Deebo Samuel's your wide receiver, Brandon Ayuk. Juan Jennings, tight end, George Kittle. Fullback, Kyle Juszczyk. As far as the O-line, Trent Williams, Aaron Banks, Jake Brendel, Spencer Burford, Colton McKevitz. And I want to stop here right now and talk about this offensive line because guess what? These guys are willing to go the distance to protect Brock. There's a difference between an offensive line who actually believes in a quarterback and an offensive line that's just there to get paid and show up just to play. This is an offensive line that believes that Brock Purdy can lead them back to the show after what he did last year. So that's why you're seeing this man have time in the pocket. That's why he's able to maneuver the way that he wants to. People said, oh, we don't have any tape on Brock last year. Well, now you've got tape. So guess what? Week 1, when we see what this Steelers defense can do, if they can ball out and actually go hard against Brock Purdy and company, then I'm a believer. But guess what? Going into week 1, 49ers have the number one offense. And what does that say? If Steelers can't keep up score-wise, it's going to be an issue. Let's keep it going. As far as the defense for the 49ers, Drake Jackson, Javon Hargrave, Eric Armstead, Nick Bosa, Drake Greenlaw, Fred Warner, Oren Burks, Javarius Ward, Talanoa Hufanga, Tashawn Gibson Sr., and Diamador Lenore. As for special teams, Jake Moody, Mitch Wisnowski, Ronnie Bell, and Tabor Pepper. As for as your Steelers, Kenny Pickett is going to be starting, Mitch Trubisky, and then Mason Rudolph at the third. Your running back, Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, who balled out during preseason. Looking forward to see him. Anthony McFarland is the third. I really don't like this. And I'll tell you why. I feel like they definitely gave Jalen Warren more chances than McFarland. And I get it, putting McFarland at the third, but I just like the explosiveness that Anthony McFarland brings. I'm sure he'll get a little bit more touches in the regular season. But I just feel like Anthony McFarland should definitely get more time. Keeping it going, Deontay Johnson as far as your wide receivers. George Pickens, that Pickett to Pickens combo is becoming a household name. Allen Robinson II, followed up by Pat Freiermuth. Your offensive line is going to be Dan Moore Jr., Isaac Sumalu, Mason Cole, James Daniels, and Chukwuma Okorafor. As far as your defense, Larry Ogunjobi, Keanu Benson, Cameron Hayward, TJ Watt, Cole Holcomb, Elena Roberts, Alex Highsmith, Levi Wallace, DeMonte KZ, Minka Fitzpatrick, Joey Porter Jr. Special teams, Chris Boswell, Presley Harvin III, Calvin Austin III, and Christian Kuntz. All right. What are we doing? What are we doing here? 49ers, Steelers. This is a tough one. Because right now you have, like I said, Steelers team that's renewed, fresh. Kenny Pickett is balling. He's playing at an elite level. And then on the flip side, you've got the 49ers who currently have the number one offense in the league. I'm going to have to go Steelers in a close one. And I'm going to tell you why. As much as I know that the 49ers have a strong offense, I really feel like Pittsburgh is going to come out balling because Kenny Pickett is looking different right now. He's not looking like that same quarterback we seen last year. And Mike Tomlin has basically created a monster before our very eyes. So I'm going to go Steelers by a touchdown against these 49ers. So there you have it. Michael says, hey, Jay, I emailed you since Sunday about Mott. What happened to it? I have to check into it, Mike. I got to go through my emails, but I'll check into it. Faded says, I'm excited about the Fantasy League. Me too, man. Me too. Definitely excited about the Fantasy League. Let me actually check and see what's going on with the Fantasy League and if we filled it up yet. If we have not, I'll drop the link in the chat if you guys want to join the Fantasy League. Let's see if it's filled here. 1 second before we get back to it. So we got 14 out of 20. We have 6 spots left. If you want to join the Fantasy League, I will put the link in the chat. $50 winner take all, ladies and gentlemen. No buy-in needed. I'm going to cover the cost this first year. $50 to the winner. Can you beat Jay and 18 other people in the Fantasy League? So I'm going to put that up here in the chat. And if you want to join the Fantasy League, we need 4 more people. The link will be in the chat. So there you go. All right. Next up, let me close out some of these. There we go. Scroll down just a little bit. Next up is going to be your Cardinals and the Commanders. Let's get started here. It's really a shame. We had the discussions in regards to Kyler Murray, the issues that he's having, not only just from an injury standpoint, but just from an overall player and bringing what he can bring to the table as far as team morale and whether or not he's actually trying to be a winner. And then obviously the Commanders getting a new refreshed atmosphere, new owner, all that good stuff. So what's going to happen? What is going to happen? 35.6% for your Cardinals, 64.1% for the Commanders. Getting into the spread, Commanders are favored by a full touchdown and the extra point. Over-under is 38.5. Let's get into the depth chart. All right. Obviously, Kyler Murray is not going to be starting. So the question right now is whether or not Joshua Dobbs or Clayton Tune. I just dropped the article earlier yesterday in regards to who's going to be starting. We don't know. They don't know. Right now, they're in crisis mode because they're trying to figure out who's going to start before week 1. So this is information we'll probably know 2 or 3 days before the game starts. But it's between Joshua Dobbs and Clayton Tune. As far as your running back, you're going to have James Conner, Marquise Brown, Rondale Moore, Greg Dortch, Zach Ertz at tight end. As far as the O-line, DJ Humphries, Elijah Wilkinson, Hajolte, Froholtz, Will Hernandez, Paris Johnson Jr. As far as the defense, Zaven Collins, Carlos Watkins, Lakeith Fotu, Jonathan Ledbetter, BJ Ojolari, Kazir White, Dennis Gardick, Antonio Hamilton Sr., Jalen Thompson, Buda Baker, Marco Wilson. This is for special teams, Matt Prater, Nolan Cooney, Greg Dortch, and Matt Himborough. As for the Commanders, got that new guy, Sam Howell. He's going to be starting over Jacoby Brissett. Brian Robinson Jr. is running back, followed by Antonio Gibson. Terry McLaurin for your wide receiver, followed by De'Ami Brown and Mitchell Tinsley. Jahan Dotson, Curtis Samuel. I'm expecting good things for these Commanders. I really am. I like what we've seen from Sam Howell. We know what to expect from Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, Curtis Samuel as well. So I'm excited to see what this wide receiver group's going to do. And, potentially their running game. We shall see. At tight end, Logan Thomas. Offensive line, Charles Leno Jr., Sadiq Charles, Nick Gates, Sam Cosmi, Andrew Wiley will finish off your offensive line. Getting into the defense, Chase Young, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat, David Mayo, Cody Barton, Jamin Davis, Kendall Fuller, Cameron Curl, Derek Forrest, Emmanuel Forbes, and your special teams, Joey Sly, Tressway, Dax Milne, Antonio Gibson, and Cameron Cheeseman. This one's going to be easy for me. And the reasons why is Arizona Cardinals are in shambles right now. They basically don't have their quarterback situation figured out. The team morale is probably at a hard low right now. And I just feel like the Commanders are under, like I said, under new ownership. They got a fresh team, ready to go. They're fired up. So I'm going to have to go Commanders here and go with Vegas as they went by 7. So there you go. Scary Harry says Commanders backup QB was balling. Yeah, man. Definitely. Michael Animate says, Jay, can we do ranking now before the draft? The ranking's automatic. It's automatic, and the draft will be on the 4th. It's going to be on Monday at 9. So, David Hayter says, what's up with Von J? Man. Listen, he's gone for another 3 weeks, I think it is. And the problem with that is everyone was hoping that Von would come back, especially for week 1, right? So now the real question is whether or not the Bills are going to be able to figure out that defensive line. Because if we keep getting cooked up the middle and I keep having to yell and be upset and aggravated about the same thing that we were talking about last year, it's going to be a tough season to stream for the Bills, at least. Shout out to my Bills Mafia. Immortal says Sam Howell or bust. Yeah, man. Shout out to Jacqueline. What up? What's going on with you, Jacqueline? So yeah, like I said, I'm going to go Commanders for that game. Next up, we have the Texans and the Ravens. Now, Mr. CJ Stroud will be starting for the Texans, and then Baltimore has Lamar Jackson back and Odell Beckham. They're looking to come out and ball. So, we're going to speed through the next few here. 25.3% for the Texans, 74.5% for the Ravens. Baltimore is favored by 10 points. Over-under is 44. I'm going to be honest with you. I think this is going to be one of those games where CJ Stroud goes out there to get some experience. It's going to be very tough for this Texans team to slow down Lamar Jackson and company. And I'm I'm going to have to ride with Baltimore. I do think they will cover the spread, and they're going to run it up because this first game is definitely going to be a learning experience for C.J. Stroud. Next after that, it's going to be your Packers and the Bears. Little Packer-Bear action. This game is going to be at 4:25 on Sunday. 47.2% for the Packers, 52.4% for the Bears. Look at Fields getting more love than love. Like how that one worked. We've seen what Jordan Love is going to do. We also see what, we also know what Fields can do. So I definitely think this is going to be a dogfight. Without a doubt. Getting into the spread, Chicago's favored by 2 points. Over-under is 44.5, which those 2 points go hand in hand with how close this is at 52.4% and 47.2%. But I'm going to have to go with the Packers. As much as the Bears have made some changes, as much as the Bears have came out and not only showed us what they can do, I just think right now the Packers have a better offense, and Love has more to prove than Fields does at this point. Plus, the defense is what is probably going to lead these Packers to the victory. So, I'm going to go Packers in a close one. I'll give them the field goal, but it's going to be a good one. Next up after that, we've got there we go. Raiders and the Broncos. Sean Payton taking over the Broncos. Jimmy Garoppolo going over to the Raiders. I don't know what to expect. I know Immortal was coming for me. I was trying to rush through it. I know he was. I don't know what to expect for this one. I have no faith in either of these quarterbacks right now. I really don't. I have no faith whatsoever. And the biggest problem is this. Russell Wilson has completely bombed in preseason. And Jimmy Garoppolo is Jimmy Garoppolo. He's not consistent. So this is a toss-up for me. But I'm going to probably have to go with the Let's Ride gang. I hate to say it, but I'm just going to have to go with the Broncos. I have no faith in the Raiders right now completely. I don't. All right, next up. Eagles, Patriots. This is another game at 4:25. You got your Super Bowl losers in the Eagles versus the New England Patriots. Jalen Hurts and company. Mac Jones having issues as far as with Bill Belichick, and their chemistry is off. I'm going to have to go Eagles on this one. Not just because I don't think the Patriots are really having a good year as far as their offense and what Belichick is going through with Mac Jones, but specifically because the Patriots are still dealing with Tom Brady leaving like an ex-boyfriend or an ex-girlfriend. Right? I feel like Mac Jones came and they were like, "Oh, like he's going to be better and he's the one." And then like he bombed out and now they're upset, so they went to go try to find somebody else to get over the rebound, and they let go of Bailey Zappi, and New England is just in shambles right now. So I'm going to go Eagles on that one. Next up is going to be Miami Dolphins and the Chargers. I think this is going to be a great one. Miami coming out. If Tua's healthy, he's focused, he's ready to go. This is going to be a great matchup with Herbert and company. Tough one to call. Without even looking at the match predictor, I'm going to say this is probably as close to 50-50 as we can get. I am going to give the edge, though, to Miami Dolphins. I'm going to rock with the Dolphins on this one. I'll take the Dolphins by a touchdown. Next up is going to be your Seattle Seahawks and the Rams. Rams at the Seahawks. Matt Stafford, I guess they had some kind of interview with his wife, said he's having a hard time with the rookies. Geno Smith is looking to have a follow-up on his year last year. I'm going to have to go Seahawks in a close one here. You're going to see a lot of chewing gum by Pete Carroll, and that's fine. He's going to master plan it. So I'm going to have to take the Seahawks there. Dallas versus the New York Giants. Dallas Cowboys, Giants. Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes, Saquon Barkley. And right now you've got Dak and Tony Pollard, and you've got Trey over there now. Listen, these are those weird games.
Trends. The Donkeys and the Seacocks.
Shout out to Bobby Cox coming through with the $2 super chat. Thanks for the support. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the $2 donation. Now I got to bring out Ric Flair. Y'all been keeping Ric Flair quiet for the day. I gotta bring him out now. Let me drop this just a little bit. Ric Flair, where are you at? There you go. Shout out to you, Bobby Cox. Thank you for the $2 donation. Thank you for the support, my friend. As far as with Dallas and the Giants, I think this would be another dogfight. Once again, we're dealing with the issue of two teams that Dak Prescott is under so much pressure to keep his job now. I really feel like Jerry Jones bringing Trey along is kind of like, wake up, Dak. If you're not going to be the one to do it, I've got people here to try to get the job done. And then obviously, Daniel Jones, he's a decent quarterback who can run. He's mobile, and you got that backup with Saquon Barkley, that system there. I think it's going to be great. I'm going to have to give the Cowboys this one, though, because I do think that the Dallas Cowboys defense is a little stronger. So I'm going to go Dallas on that one. Shout out to you Cowboy fans. So there you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the grand finale. Shout out to my Bills Mafia. Week 1. Monday Night Football, September 11th, 2023. Monday night, Bills, Jets. It's going to be absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy.
A lot of people talk about the Bills like a team whose window is closing. How do you see it?
That window is closing. Listen, this is a team that's been in that window for 3 seasons, right? And they're a team that invested heavily. They spent a lot of money, a lot of draft capital, but they still have the holes, right? Remember, when you talk about, how this team looked against Miami, they got the ball ran down their throat. They didn't really improve that. And bringing in Von Miller, we talk a lot about Odell Beckham, about we expect him to be the player that he used to be, or can he be the player that he used to be? Well, Von Miller's had 2 ACL surgeries. He's 34 years old, and this window is closing for them. So what I'm saying is, like, you talk about Josh Allen protecting himself, but they haven't really had an answer to the question as far as can they run the football? Will Ken Dorsey be able to run the football? They have to establish the run, much like McCarthy's trying to do for Dak, to protect Josh Allen from himself, because he's always going to revert to who he is as nature, and he's going to try and put the team on his back. We've seen the comp of who Josh Allen is. It was Cam Newton, and it was all beautiful, for a while early in his career until those hits start adding up. It's not a great recipe to think that you can keep looking up linebackers and taking them on and have a long quality of life in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm making this face because he just compared Josh Allen to Cam Newton. No. First off, yes, Cam Newton could run, Cam Newton could throw, but he wasn't throwing at the same level and didn't have the same kind of arm strength that Josh Allen does. And he was not taking the same kind of hits that Josh Allen has been. Now, is that a good thing? No. But this is a completely different animal from what Cam Newton did. Absolutely insane. But let's get into the matchup predictor. 55.7% for the Bills, 43.9% for the Jets. Getting into the matchup predictor and the odds. I'm just completely thrown off, and I'm actually pissed off that he said that. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I have to let you know that was so aggravating to me. I am perturbed. I am all those words that you're thinking right now. Why would he compare Josh Allen to Cam Newton? It's disrespectful. Let me keep going. Bills are favored by 2.5 points. 46.5 is your over and under. And we'll go ahead and get into the depth charts real quick here. All right. As for the Bills, Josh Allen is your starting quarterback, followed up by Kyle Allen. Matt Barkley is on IR right now, ladies and gentlemen, and I think he is out for a while. That was the news that came out earlier. I'm not too exact of it. I will let you guys know. But Matt Barkley is out. He is on IR now, so it's both Allens. That's all we got right now. Running back James Cook, followed by Damian Harris, Latavius Murray. Nyheim Hines is still in a battle. Stephon Amadiva Diggs. I love you, Stephon, but you a diva, man. Followed by Gabe Davis, who should be WR1 this year. And Khalil Shakir, followed by Justin Shorter, who made it in that cut. Shout out to Justin Shorter. Dawson Knox, Mr. Dalton Kincaid, who I'm looking forward to see. And then Reggie Gilliam at the fullback. Our offensive line is going to be Deion Dawkins, Connor McGovern, Mitch Morse, Ryan Bates, and then Spencer Brown. Defense, Greg Russo, Ed Oliver, Daquan Jones, Von Miller, Dorian Williams, Tyrell Dodson, Matt Milano, Travius White, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, Dane Jackson. DeMar Hamlin made the cut, ladies and gentlemen, and there was talks in regards to whether or not this was a sympathy play by the Bills. No, it wasn't a sympathy play. If you looked at preseason, you would have seen that this man was actually out there balling. He was still playing. He was going hard. It was kind of like he basically made sure that he was out there focused, and he didn't let what happened to him stop him from going out there and trying to be great. So, no, it wasn't a sympathy play. I think he's still going to go out there and ball, and I wish him the best as far as his health goes, and we'll see what happens there. As far as special teams go, Tyler Bass, Sam Martin, Deontay Hardy. Getting into your Jets depth chart, your quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. Second is Zach Wilson. That is all you have. Rodgers and Wilson. That's it for the Jets. Running back, Breece Hall, Dalvin Cook, Michael Carter. Wide receiver, Garrett Wilson, Randall Cobb, Irwin Charles, Alan Lazard, McCole Hardman. Tight end's going to be Tyler Conklin. Your offensive line, Dwayne Brown, Laken Tomlinson, Connor McGovern, Elijah Vera Tucker, followed up by Mekhi Becton. As far as your defense, John Franklin Mayers, Al Woods, Quinnen Williams, Carl Lawson, Jamian Sherwood, C.J. Mosley, Quincy Williams, Sauce Gardner, Jordan Whitehead, Adrian Amos, DJ Reed. Special teams, Greg Zerline, Thomas Morstead, McCole Hardman, and then Thomas Hennessy for your long snapper. Ladies and gentlemen, without a doubt, you already know where I'm going with this one. And that's not just because I'm a Bills fan, but everything that has led the Bills up until this point has not only been difficult, but there have never been any give-me's for the Bills. I can't name a give-me that the Bills got in the last 3 years. From games that they had to fight through adversity, from flags, from issues as far as an overtime, to just being outright completely robbed. And that's not to excuse the fact that we didn't win and we didn't go out and play hard enough to get the victory. That's not to excuse that, because there's been multiple issues that I bring up, and you guys know I do it every time in regards to our defense and the shortcomings that we have in regards to Josh Allen being able to go out there and stay focused and win and stop making mistakes. But this is the reality. Week 1 is going to be the testament, not to show that Aaron Rodgers still has it, but that Josh Allen can go out there and command a victory in prime time, Monday night, in an away game. Shout out to Immortal says, plus they've got Stephon Diggs. Yeah, and we got Stephon Diggs. There you go. There's a lot that goes into this. There's a lot that goes into the issues at defense. There's a lot that goes into coaching. And listen, hey, we're not official coaches. We don't get paid to coach. We just sit here and watch the game and have fun together. But at the end of the day, the fight and the resilience that the Bills Mafia has as a team to overcome triumph, to overcome adversity, is what will persevere this year to get us the wins that we need overall. So guess what? Bills, we have to score over 35 points a game to win. Because I'm here to tell you right now, our defense probably isn't going to get it done. You want some reality? There's some reality for you. We need to score 35 points a game. Our offense has to be so efficient and so great that we can overcome the defensive issues to win these games. And that's the reality of it. I don't care about the matchup predictor. I don't care about how great you think somebody is or how bad you think somebody is. That's the reality of it. If the Bills want to win, they're going to have to outscore their opponents at a high level. And there it is. Shout out to Micah Parsons fan. What up, yo? Robert says, what's up, Jay? On this pick, you're going with your heart first. Let's not lie. If I was going with my heart, I would have just said, oh, yeah, Bills, we're going to go out there and we're going to kick their ass. I didn't say that. I literally gave you the whole rundown as far as what we need to do and why we're going to have struggles. That's not me speaking from the heart. That's me speaking from a place of reality. Shout out to James Neely. What up, man? What's going on with you, bro? Immortal says, I don't know how Josh does it with Stephon Diggs in the huddle. That alone deserves being on the Madden cover. Duke says, Rodgers, 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. What do you think this is? 2012? What are you talking about? 400 yards and 3 touchdowns? Stop it. Shout out to Ray Ray. What up, man? Big ups to you, bro. What's going on with you? Let me go look at this fantasy to see if we are full yet, ladies and gentlemen. See if we are full yet. Are we full yet? Let's see here. All right, so Fantasy League. Happy face. I took care of those 2 teams. So your team has been set. One second. Hold on. I got to find it. Yeah, your team 6. Your team 6. So we got 2 teams left, ladies and gentlemen, for the $50 Fantasy League. $50 winner takes all. There is no buy-in. We need 2 more people. If you want to join the Fantasy League, I'll go ahead and I'll drop that link in the comment section one more time. It's also in the description on the video, but I'll drop it in the chat one more time if you guys want to join the fantasy. 20 teams. The rules are score to score, head to head, and it's going to be great. 20 teams, $50 winner take all. Only rules are make sure that you guys are active, have fun with it, and we'll report back here each week along with the NFL predictions for the fantasy as well. So I'm going to drop the link one more time. 2 more people needed for the Fantasy League, and that'll wrap it up. The draft will be Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be a random draft if you're a part of the league. And then you'll have 90 seconds to make your picks at 9 p.m. So make sure you don't miss out because it will be Monday at 9 p.m., September 4th. Ray Ray says, yo, Jay, your Bills will be fine as long as Josh Allen is healthy. You guys will be fine. That's half the battle. The draft is Monday the 4th at 9 p.m. Happy face. Robert says the Jets will have struggles too. May the best team win. That guy is smoking better. Better than me, 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. Yeah, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. This is a Monday night game. Bills, Jets. I would be surprised if there's 400 yards passing between both teams, just to be honest. Just because I already know it's going to be absolutely ridiculous. But I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it. So, we have covered week 1, ladies and gentlemen. It was tough. It was fierce. But we did it. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to enjoying week 1 with you guys. You have my stream schedule. Thursday night, season opener. Sunday, 3 games. Monday night. And we are back at it. We are ready for football, ladies and gentlemen. And you guys know I'll be giving you daily updates as we prepare to get the season started. Next in the building says Bills ain't beating the Jets. All right. I mean, that's fine if you feel that way. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I think we've covered everything. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Once again, if you have not joined the Discord, give you 24 access to sports, news, chat, Jay. I mean, like I said, I'm always on Discord, but you guys know what I mean. Join the Discord. You guys have access. We could chat it up. We could talk football. The community will be there as well. It'll be a good time. You can join the Discord by clicking the link that's pinned to the top of the chat. So make sure you guys lock it in. And let's go, y'all. Let's go. Also, big shout out to everyone down in Florida. Hope you guys stay safe, stay dry, and make sure that you guys are prepared. It's better to be prepared than to be sorry. That is very important. All right, ladies and gentlemen.